South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world. Our gaming amenities include over 60 table games and over 2,600 of the most popular slot and video poker machines. We have penny slots, including the popular Buffalo games, and real machines like Wheel of Fortune, Triple Sevens, and Megabucks. If you prefer video poker, try Deuces Wild, Double Double Bonus, or a variety of multi-denomination games. Or try your hand at one of the most popular casino table games in the world, Blackjack. Don't let the game intimidate you. Blackjack, also known as 21, is both easy and fun. And our dealers are always happy to assist. And the best part? Blackjack always pays 3 to 2. Next, check out the roulette tables. Roulette is one of the easiest casino games to learn, and so much fun to play. It's a favorite of both beginners and seasoned players. In addition to blackjack and roulette, our casino pit features over 60 popular table games like Baccarat, Pai Gow Poker, 3-Card Poker, Ultimate Texas Hold'em, and Mississippi Stud. So get out of your room and come join in the fun.
Well, man, it is March Madness. It is Sports by the Book here at the South Point studio. I'm Jeff Parles. She's Alex White. On the far side of the desk, the one and only Chris Andrews with us right now. Busy day for you, Chris.
Was that today?
Yeah, today.
That was, yeah, really busy. I mean, you could see. I'll tell you what. Even last night, and Krakenberger had to post something. If anybody, I would tell you to go follow Bill Krakenberger. Posted last night. You couldn't get a seat in here. In the lounge, anywhere. We were jam-packed. And today, of course, is going to be way worse. This is the sports book. We have 2,500 seats upstairs in the exhibit hall. Plus, every bar is full, grand view, blah, blah, blah. I mean, just you can't get enough.
Real quick, before we go into what you need right now, there's 2 games in progress.
Yeah.
Louisville closed them, what, 3? Right? Closed them 3.5.
Yeah.
And
look at that money line, too.
And the steam was not right on this game so far.
Well, so far, Jeff, but we've watched games last night. You know, I mean, we saw Mount St. Mary's and Xavier. So, you know.
So Creighton, with 1:40 to go in the first half, just had a 20-point lead. It's now back to 18. It's been all Blue Jays so far, Alex.
Well, we do know that they are well coached and have the talent. So we knew this one was going to be a bracket buster, right? Depending on which one. And I don't know. We'll see what they can do the second half. I'm curious what that line's going to be. But it was funny, too, watching High Point and Purdue here with Chris and first to 15, one of the best bets. And you had a big decision that went your way already.
Yeah, that was a huge decision. I'll tell you what, we get so many. Forget $100 bets. We get so many $10 bets. I mean, you know, and before you know it, I mean, it's thousands. You know, I mean, I go through like, holy cow, I could barely keep up. I would give you a tip. If you're going to bet the dog on the first to 15, bet it early because everybody plays it. We try to put out just the right price. We want to be fair, but at some point we have to move the numbers too.
So also that High Point Purdue game, and you did dodge it. Purdue got first to 15.
I know, yeah.
It's 18-14 right now. Purdue leads about halfway home in the first half. High Point is shooting 3 free throws, so this could be a 1-point game in the second. You took pretty good action on High Point in this game anyway. Closed 8.
Did I close 8 or 7.5? I think I closed 7.5.
I am looking at the wrong column. You did close 7.5.
Yeah, and a lot of money line play on High Point as well.
Yeah, including from both people on the desk to your left.
You know, listen, you know this racket. It's every man for himself. You know, you don't worry about us. We'll be okay in the end. Root for yourself.
I know you'll be okay in the end.
Yeah, we will.
But Chris, just again for this day, of course, upstairs the party's already rocking. It's rocking behind us.
Yeah.
everything available right now here at the South Point, as always.
Well, listen, there's other places in town that do some good things, but I really, honestly, in my heart, believe we do everything better than everybody else because free parking, valet, or just wherever you park. We don't charge for seats. We have the best food and beverage, including liquor, bargains in town. I mean, it's not even close. And I had some friends from high school that came out yesterday. I talked to him. He'd already made his appointment, his arrangements, and he's with like 8 other guys. He says, and he came up and he says, next year we're coming here because he's somewhere else. He said, and this was yesterday afternoon. We had lunch together. He says, I can't believe this place, how busy it is. So I said, yeah, that's just it's just kind of what we do here.
It's so fun that it is this busy because it's always such a great environment. Everybody's ready for the big days ahead. And, of course, as we always say, to pace yourself.
Yes, definitely pace yourself. This is, and we were talking before the show of just, this is as good of a 4-day stretch as there is in the sports calendar.
Yeah.
Just make sure you have something left in the tank for Sunday. Just make sure you have something left in the tank. That goes for everyone here. Chris, I do want to ask you about a few games that are going early here before I know you got just a little bit of work to do here today. I want to start with the game that's actually coming up during the show in about 25 minutes. Montana and Wisconsin, which, Sean, you can throw up the first of 15. This game is in Denver here for you guys. This is going to be another one where people come in on the dog and just take prices on those first of 15s. On the game side of things, you guys are 16.5 right now on Wisconsin, 153.5 on the total in this one.
Well, our action's been great. Alex was with us when we did. She helped us. By the way, kudos to this young lady. She really, you earned your stripes there, kid. You helped us an awful lot. But we opened this Montana game high, I think 23, I want to say, something like that, and they pounded it down. Now we're getting evened up at six. We were as low as 16. We're at 16.5. We've been kind of back and forth. So the money is relatively equal, but of course we're dodging some numbers, some out there. But that's bookmaking. I hate to tell you. If you're afraid of getting middle, you're afraid of numbers falling, you're in the wrong racket because this is what you got to do, especially when you open like we did, first to open. And the numbers are going to move. It's just the way it is. Even though we had 4 of us back there, and I respect everybody's opinion, but there's a million other opinions out there, and sometimes we're wrong, and sometimes we're right. But we did a ton of action on that game. But I think and it's too bad because my daughter's going for her doctorate at the University of Montana, and I have to root against her today. So that's the way it goes, though.
That is funny. 23, so we must have actually made it even higher. I don't have my original number, but you did move pretty fast.
Yeah.
I think that number is way too low here for the Badgers. I didn't bet that, but I might have to.
This is a Wisconsin team that can score.
Oh, yeah.
We're not used to it. Usually you get that plodding kind of team, but this team can actually score.
Well, remember, they're coming off their worst game against Michigan, and that's the last thing everybody saw, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So I don't have a bet on this game. I thought that once the market normalized, I thought 16.5 is about where it should be. I'd only lay it with the favorite. But one unique thing that's happened with these Denver games and UC San Diego and Michigan is the last game of the night. Part of the argument, other than UC San Diego is a really good basketball team, against Michigan is, hey, they just ran through the Big Ten tournament, played multiple consecutive days, have a short turnaround and have to play at altitude.
Yeah.
Same sort of deal here with Wisconsin. Now, granted, UC San Diego is leagues better than this Montana team is. And even though Michigan beat Wisconsin, I think the Badgers are better than Michigan still.
Yeah.
But you made the point, Chris, and you're 100% right. We are used to in the past that Wisconsin grinds you, slow, unwatchable.
Yeah.
Not the case anymore.
No.
They're fun. They will go a little bit fast. They still play slower, but they're not slow. They're not bottom 10 tempo like they historically have been.
That sluggish Wisconsin team, like you said, we're just used to that. When you see Wisconsin, just your brain goes there. And I think that's one of the reasons we made it as high as we did. We thought that this is a team, they can run you out of the building. I don't know if they will or not. And, of course, Montana's at elevation and Wisconsin's not. But like Tarkanian says, they're playing indoors, so it doesn't matter.
Still, that's one of the best of Tarks
One of the
ever.
greats. I could see, and Listen, that's the old expression is that's what makes horse racing. Everybody has different opinions, and that's what we're here for.
And then the other early game is a 1 seed, and it's kind of this return to yesteryear with some of these 116 numbers where, I mean, we've seen a lot of low 20s, mid 20s the last few years. Not the case this year. Houston is 28.5 right now in this one against SIU. Congratulations to the Cougars of Edwardsville for finally making the tournament. Yeah. Chris, when I was in Missouri, Edwardsville right across the border in Illinois.
Oh, is that right?
They were always one of the worst programs in the area,
Okay.
and it's pretty amazing seeing them here. But this is, again, Chris, you have 28.5 with Houston. Auburn, who we see later today, is 32 right now against Alabama State. Florida is 28.5 tomorrow against Norfolk. Duke is 32 against Mount St. Mary's. It's been a while since we've seen huge numbers like this.
But I got to tell you, those first two that you mentioned, against Houston and against Auburn, I kind of like the dogs in those. I really do. I kind of like the dogs. Listen, we open the number, we move it according to the money. I don't put my opinion that much into it. Trust me. I don't trust my opinion that much on these games. But personally, I think, listen, we've seen Auburn struggle offensively. We've seen Houston struggle offensively a lot. If they struggle a little bit, I mean, that's a lot of points to cover. 32, 28.5. Right there. That's 60 points I just mentioned right there. And I think if you take the dogs, I think you got a pretty good shot at covering.
Alex?
It looks like a lot of people are taking that philosophy and trying to grab the big numbers. I personally like more competitive games, right? And the smaller spread because I think it can get out of hand. Yeah. But
now listen, we're going to see some really good games. I mean, we've got some going on right now. And it's going to be a great 2 days. And most of these games are pretty close. But Duke, I wouldn't be too crazy betting against Duke because Cooper Flagg now is playing. But those other two dogs, I think, are pretty live.
I was pretty impressed with Mount yesterday.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, they look pretty good, but it is Duke, and Duke is playing home games in Raleigh. I mean, it's what?
15, big surprise.
50, what?
And Falika put this out last week. As soon as Cooper Flagg got hurt, he goes, "Let me guess, there'll be a late game on Friday and have a late game on Sunday to give Cooper Flagg as much time as possible to recover."
They actually weren't as late as I expected them to be. They're in the middle of the day. I would have expected them to be the 9:45 p.m. game on CBS on Friday night. But, oh well. Chris, before we let you go back to work, other games that have taken a lot of play here today.
Other games? Every game. I mean, I can't tell you one that didn't take a lot of action.
So, can I ask you about the UC San Diego game real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's been, I think, from the betting perspective, one of the more intriguing games this whole week. UC San Diego seems to be a monster darling, and I think correctly so. Michigan, of course, just won the Big Ten tournament. You said when you came in, this is as good of a two-way game as you have all day.
Fantastic two-way game. This is going to be a huge game by the end, handle-wise. I'm not sure which way it's going to go, Jeff, because I told you I was getting ready to go to 3 on the game because they were laying me Michigan with some big money. But then I saw it go to 2 almost everywhere. Like I said, when I left here, the counter 15 minutes ago was still at 2.5. We were at 2.5. So I'm not sure which way the money's going to go. But for us, I saw a lot of San Diego money elsewhere, and I have a feeling it'll show up here too. But that's a late game tonight. It's going to be a terrific matchup. And you're right, UC San Diego, I think a lot of us, and even Alex, you were in there, we talked very highly of San Diego before we put out the numbers. We thought there's a very live dog, and I think they are a live dog. So we'll see where the action goes.
Did you fill out your bracket?
Yeah.
Can you give us your final 4?
Yeah, I got Duke and St. John's in the final game.
Oh.
Then I got Florida.
So Houston,
Florida's the one.
Houston's region, bottom right.
Yeah, who's
Houston, Tennessee, Kentucky.
I think I got Tennessee. I can't remember. I fill out a bracket. I think there's a big contest in Reno, a really big one, and I finished like 5th one year. I got like $800 or whatever it was. That's probably the best that I ever did. I mean, I'm like everybody else. I don't know what the hell's going on, and by Saturday, nobody's bracket will be totally alive.
Right. By today.
Yeah, but maybe in an hour or so.
Well, as Jim Root said on their podcast this week, and I'll just give them credit for this. The Louisville-Creighton game was the perfect game to start your bracket 0-1 with.
There you go.
Which, if you have Louisville, you're in big trouble already.
Yeah,
right out of the
I
gate.
know.
All right, Chris, we'll let you go back to work. Thanks.
I'm going to head upstairs.
You're going
I
upstairs?
haven't gone upstairs
Pulled
yet.
pork or meatball first?
Well, it's still a little early. So I'm not sure. I'm going to try. I'm going to probably get. They got the good muffins up there. At least they did last year.
Breakfast burritos are good too.
Hopefully, I don't like the breakfast burrito. I'm not a breakfast burrito. I think I'm going to have a muffin, then hold off till about noon, and then go for. I'm not sure which one. I haven't decided yet.
We'll be up there as well.
Okay, we'll see. And I would invite everybody locally.
Yes,
if you're here,
please.
that's the best party in town.
Absolutely. Chris?
You get to see Jeff and Alex, too. Well, they'll be up there, and the whole crew probably back there.
Alex will be on the mic a whole bunch today.
You're on the mic a lot?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
So we'll be in
Whatever
good
they
shape.
need. Yeah,
Okay.
giving prizes and
All
stuff.
right, guys. Have a great show, and have a great day, everybody. But not too great. See you later.
Chris Andrews, everyone. All right, let's rattle through these games. We mentioned Montana, Wisconsin. I think we kind of covered it from our perspectives. I don't really have anything. I really couldn't find a real angle on this. If I was here when you guys opened 23, I don't think I would have even taken that, honestly. I just think this is the Big Sky historically does terribly in the tournament. It is a quick turnaround for Wisconsin, but they are just so much better than this Montana team is, Alex.
It is funny being on this side now because, I mean, part of me is a little bit like, no, I think we actually had the right number here. I guess I should lay it with the favorite, but everybody's jumping in, taking all those points with the dog. But I think that actually kind of puts me in a good spot with some of these favorites where I do feel confident and did make them at least 6 points better than what we have here. So no way I want any part of Montana except for one little ticket on 1st to 15 because this team can shoot. It's a really good offense. They just really struggle defensively, and I don't think they'll be able to slow this Wisconsin team down. Plus, regression to the mean, right? I mean, they had a terrible shooting day against Michigan, so I do think Wisconsin will pull away late second half, but I like Montana to get the first 15.
So it's this is a game that goes in 15 minutes. What was the price you ended up getting on Montana?
$3.30.
$3.30. It's pretty good. Pretty good first to 15 price in this day and age, to say the very least. All right, moving along.
What about total wise? I do lean to the over in that too, but makes me a little nervous. It wasn't official. I do have 3 overs though today, but I mean both these teams trend that way too. Montana 19 and 11 to the over. So, all right, we can move on now.
The Houston game, SIUE, 28.5. Now, I want to ask you about the total more so than anything, Alex. 127.5 now. It's 127.5 in a game that's lying 28.5. I mean, isn't this just kind of one of those where, I mean, it's favored and over or dog and under? I mean, isn't it kind of have to be correlated like that just because of how low the total is?
Yeah, I do agree with that, but then Houston's just so good defensively. I'm actually leaning more favored and under because of them, but I'm not touching it because of that. I don't know how many points Houston can put up. If anything, I would look at team total, SIUE under, because my number says it's an underplay. But I'm too nervous. So only team total. And I don't even know how low theirs is.
So let me see on Edwardsville, because I don't know how the hell they're going to score in this game. That's the bigger issue. And again, also it's an early tip-off too in Wichita. By the way, you can throw those first to 15s up. Edwardsville at plus 360 right now on that first to 15. If you want to have fun with underdogs here today on the first to 15.
I don't think that's enough for them, do you?
Edwardsville's 48.5 on the total, team total. Man, I wish it was 49.5 and basically make it a bet. Can they make it to 50 or not? And my answer is no. So I you can find a 49.5. I think I go under it, but I would not go much lower than that. Again, it's low, super, super low on that. By the way, pretty good prices in this Wichita region. Boy, Georgia might not be a bad bet. At 1 plus 175, actually.
No.
On that first to 15, probably of those remaining dogs. Yeah, all those dogs, honestly, not too bad, especially at those prices. All right, moving along. We go to Alabama State. for Alabama State and Auburn. 32 is the number here at the South Point. There's a bunch of 32.5 in the market, 147.5 the total. What would you do here? I get what Chris said with taking points. Like, I understand that. It's a lot of points. Auburn has really just has not had their brain on straight the last 2 weeks. But doesn't this kind of feel like this is just a complete butt whipping with just a monster total mismatch? Again, 32 is a ton of points, but be very careful about taking a dog in this game.
What if they lost? What, 3 of their last 4 or 4 of their last 5?
It was 3 of 4.
3 of 4. Yeah. So I actually would say this is probably a get right spot for Auburn, right? My true number is 37. So I can't jump in and justify taking 32 here. And my total is right on 147. So I think that there's other games to bet on more competitive. So nothing for me in this one.
Let's go McNeese and Clemson here in this one. This is the weirdo spot of the tournament now, where McNeese State, of course, Will Wade is going to NC State. Like, he's taking the job after the tournament. After they're done, he's going to be the coach of the Wolfpack moving forward. 7.5 in this game, 135.5. I don't know what to do now with this, because Paul Stone made a really good argument for McNeese earlier in the week. But now with this Will Wade thing hanging over the heads of the Cowboys, how do they respond? Do they play hard for their coach? Do they say, bleep this guy's leaving us after this? Granted, everyone probably will go in the portal, and maybe some of these guys will follow him to NC State. But I don't know what to do here, Alex. This has now turned into a very complex betting game for me because of the Will Wade to NC State situation.
I completely agree. I would almost bought into McNeese State and taking the points and them keeping it close. I mean, really, they're good both offense and defensively and play really good transition defense. But my real number was Clemson 8.5. I think that's pretty close to where we actually opened here too. So I wasn't a play for me to begin with. Now I lean more to laying the points here with this Clemson team, who is really good. 16th defensive efficiency, and they like to slow it down and play that really good defense and transition defense there. So nothing. I mean, maybe, Jeff, could we look at it like now these guys are playing for their jobs and getting more NIL money, and they're going to show up and want to prove themselves here, even with their coach on his way out?
I think it's a mixed bag of everything. Again, we don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird to say in an NCAA tournament game, but we genuinely don't know what type of thing this is going to look like. McNeese won the game. I wouldn't be totally stunned. I wouldn't be shocked that Clemson won some low-scoring 69-58 game. Wouldn't stun me if that happened more so than anything, but we'll see how it plays. This is the second game in Providence. Purdue has opened it up to 8 now over High Point with a little over 2 minutes to go in the first half at 33-25. All right, let's go to Denver again. BYU and VCU. Good game here. And Alex, to me, the toughest game of this calendar day to figure out, because I think there's great arguments for both teams here. You have VCU, obviously plays the unique style, playing a BYU team that last time out got embarrassed by Houston. But before that, BYU is playing as well as anyone in the entire country. There's a lot of 2 in the market. It's 2.5 here at the South Point with a total of 147.5. If you made me bet it, I would find a 2 and lay it with BYU. But this is a very, very tight contest here with the 6-11 matchup.
I hope it's tight and they're both making their shots, because I really like this game over. I think that this trends more to an overplay than anything. And I know what my dad said yesterday, too. So if you aren't that confident with overs, with 57% of first half staying under, then maybe wait and jump in the second half. But I already bet this over. And 19-14 to the over, both teams on the season. VCU 12-6 on the road to the over. The Cougars, when the total's been 145 or greater, they're 14-8 to the over. I think both of them can make their shots. Cougars 11th offense efficiency, 6th in 2-point percentage and 33rd from 3. And they get a lot of bench points. They're pretty deep. So that's why I would lean to BYU as well. And then VCU has 4 guys that are averaging double digits. So I think they'll be able to hang around in this one. BYU does struggle on the defensive side, if anything. So I'm hoping for a back and forth battle between these two. But over. I'm okay at 147.5 too. I took 146.5, but I have a big enough difference there that I think you're okay.
Going to Georgia and Gonzaga here to end the early portion of the day. This is, of course, in Wichita. Gonzaga's out to 7 now. And look, this is as big. This is the biggest number I can remember in an 8-9 game. It's been a while since we've seen, really, it's almost always 2, 3, on the high end, 4, 4.5, 7 with the Zags here. I think we've gotten a little out of control on this one, Alex, where do I expect Gonzaga to lose? No. Do I 7? Georgia's a really good basketball team, and even with Texas's result last night, which had more to do with Rodney Terry, I think more so than anything, the SEC was the best conference in the country this year, and Gonzaga was not the same in non-con this year. They usually hold up as well as anyone in non-conference this year. They lost to West Virginia, who was the last team, basically the last team out. They lost to Kentucky this year in a game in Seattle when Kentucky was dealing with a collection of injuries at the time. They lost to Connecticut. They lost to UCLA. They lost twice to St. Mary's. The only tournament teams that Gonzaga beat this year were Baylor on opening night, which was a stomping, if you remember that game, and San Diego State, who pretty well proved 2 nights ago that they, the resume probably deserved to be in, but the team was probably not of NCAA quality this year. This is too many points. Now that we're at 7, I'm only taking Georgia here, Alex.
I think you're good, too. I'm actually made it 5, so now I've got a nice 2-point difference. They're taking the points here with Georgia to at least keep it close. I like the over, though. I think that this is a really good overplay. The number's kind of been all over the place. I took a worse number earlier. It dropped down, and now it's kind of moving back up. I think a lot of people use their Ken Pom and see what he makes the number and then kind of bets off of that. So, Gonzaga's going to run. They force other teams to run with them. I think Georgia can hang in there. And I really like the fact that Georgia, with as many good teams in the SEC as there are, they're 3rd best in offensive rebounds. They're 2nd best in second chance points. So they're going to hit the boards. I think they're going to be able to hang in there with Gonzaga and get their second chance points. And that just leads to a nice over for me. So Zags 19-14 to the over this year, 11-7 on the road. Let's get the points here. Go over 151. I made it 157.5. So
I'm a little surprised the total's a little bit. It is in the low 150s also, but again, NCAA tournament could get some poor shooting early and then coming over later. But so far, these first half overs have been awesome in this tournament, which is totally backwards from what we normally have. So far, 5-0 to the first half over. Through this tournament, as we all expected coming into this tournament here, Alex. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we go to the nightcaps, 8 games to go through, and also we might have a time change tomorrow, decided by you, the listener. We'll discuss that next. Sports by the Book here at the South Point Studio.
We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside. South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rock and dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grandview Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show. Every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grandview Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grandview Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby. South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Welcome back in at Sports by the Book. I'm Jeff Parles. She's Alex White. Tournament Thursday here on Sports by the Book. By the way, is the poll still open? Yes. The poll is open. The trivia is open as well. We'll see how everything plays out. We might have a different time tomorrow based off your votes. So we'll see what we got. All right. To the nightcap. We start in Lexington, Kentucky, Tennessee, taking on Wofford to begin our night slate here, 6:50 Eastern, 3:50 Pacific. Vols, 18.5. We know Rick Barnes has the worst active record of any tournament coach. ATS in the NCAA tournament, minimum 10 games because Tommy Lloyd is 0 so far in his coaching career. So once Tommy Lloyd hits 10, he might surpass Barnes. 18.5 on this game with a total of 134, Alex. This is kind of like the Edwardsville game before. I don't know how Wofford is going to score here in this game against Tennessee's defense, which kind of graduates me towards the under. The most fun part of this game is Kyle Filewish, the big guy of Wofford, does the free throws Rick Barry granny style.
That's
right. He still only shoots them at about 34%. But I'm not entirely sure how Wofford scores in this game. But 18.5 is a lot with a Tennessee offense that I don't fully trust.
Well, I mean, this is the best defense they're going to see. The next one was Duke. And when they played Duke, it was 86-35. So
is that good?
I'm a little concerned about how they are going to score as well. They're really good from short range, and pretty good on the boards. But Tennessee definitely has the size advantage here in this one. I've made it 21, so I've got nothing. I'm not interested in taking this dog even at that many points. Total-wise, too, same kind of thing. Lean to the under, but I can't get there. So, nothing. Are you interested in? You're not interested in the 18.5, right?
I'd actually probably rather lay it than take it, honestly,
Agreed.
in this game. Again, it was early. It was game 4, but 35 points against Duke?
And
35? I mean,
Yeah.
that's a bad sign, right? Like the only they haven't really played any high-end defensive teams this year.
No, it drops off.
It drops off significantly after Duke. So, yeah, I just don't love their chance. Even though, again, they are top 70 offensive efficiency, but I think they're going to really struggle in this game, Alex. Really do.
Yeah. And Barnes last 2 years, in the first round at least.
You handled the bad teams early.
Also had Dalton Connect.
Well, last year, yeah. That was the big difference for sure. All right. Now to what might be the hardest betting game, but is very intriguing for other reasons. Game in Providence, Kansas and Arkansas, 7-10 with Self and Calipari, and two teams that have been monsterly inconsistent this year, as we know. Kansas with the preseason #1 and beat Duke here in Vegas earlier in the year, and then kind of just conference play just fell off into the worst seed that Bill Self has ever had at Kansas. Arkansas, we talked about them all year. They looked so poorly coached early in the year, got better as it went along after that great non-con. 5 now, 146 the total. I think we're getting close to being too steep here in this game. If we hit 6, it's an auto on Arkansas, but betting on Calipari in the tournament scares the hell out of me, Alex.
Yeah, I would give the advantage to Bill Self definitely in this one. I talked to Rob Misch from Chicago Sun-Times, and I told him this was our biggest difference behind in the back making the numbers. And it just makes sense, right? Because these two teams have been so inconsistent, you can have a completely different power rating on them. I really only have Kansas 2 in this game. So I did take the points here with Arkansas, and I'm just going to pray that they can keep it close. I really feel, Jeff, that for both of these teams, it's going to be a one and done. Whoever wins this game is going to lose the next one, because I think you can get their best effort in this one game. But then we saw it with Kansas. They even crumbled in the conference championship or the conference tournament. So in that second game they had. So I don't know what to do. I'm taking the points and hoping that this is a nice close game down to the wire.
Anything's in play here. That's all I'll say. Anything's in play with, again, this is the most inconsistent Kansas team Self has ever had. And again, it's Calipari in the tournament. We've seen the failures over the last few years at Kentucky and can very easily start again at Arkansas. All right, Yale and A&M. And now we get to the upset portion of the day here, Alex White. I am on Yale plus the 7.5, and I am going to sprinkle as well on Yale on the money line. This is a very simple handicap for me. And this whole game comes down to one factor and one factor only. Can the Yale Bulldogs, who this year were the 22nd best defensive rebounding team in the country, can they hold up against the best offensive rebounding team in the country by margin in this game? That is the whole ball of wax here. If Yale can keep A&M below their season average, which is a monstrous 41% of their misses they offensive rebound, they can win this game. Remember last year they pulled the stunner against Auburn, who by every metric was a top 5 team by the end of the year, and Yale pulled it off. I think they're going to be able to pull it off again here today. Plus 7.5 Yale outright. Big upset to begin the night slate in Denver there with A&M going down for me.
Curious on your thoughts where you think the Ivy League was this year. Because I mean, just watching it felt down. I didn't feel like this was as good of a Yale team, but metrics-wise, they really are. And you're right. If they can get the defensive rebounds and they can make their threes, which they are really good, 39% from 3, then yeah, they've got a shot here. I didn't do anything. It wasn't one of my favorite dogs taking the points, but I cannot fault anyone. I have the number right there, 7.5. So
I think this is the second best team that Jones has ever had. I think the only team that was better was the team that beat Baylor. That was dating back to 2016. They're really good. Even with losing Danny Wolf to Michigan, they've actually blossomed in a totally different way than they did a year ago. Ivy-wise, was it down? Yeah, probably slightly. Even though I liked Cornell, they were not particularly good on defense. Princeton was down, but Princeton almost pulled an upset against Yale. But the 1 seed always is vulnerable in that tournament for whatever reason. Yale just became the second 1 seed to hold serve in the Ivy tournament since they started it. So, yeah, I think they're very much alive here. 7.5. Wish I was getting a little bit more than plus 250, but I still think that's good on Yale. All right, Drake and Missouri. This is going to be the darling team, this Drake Bulldog team here today. Down to 6 on this game with a total of 132.5. I expect this number to continue to go down, Alex, and I will find myself on the homer pick here. I will find myself on Missouri as this number drops down. I just think this is a monster athleticism difference in this game. Now, the path for Drake's pretty simple. Be as efficient as you've been on offense all year.
Yep.
Hold up on defense. Rebound the basketball. And fluster Missouri with your slow pace. The very simple path. I just think in the end, the Missouri Tigers are just the much more talented and more athletic basketball team. I get why people are on Drake. They won 30 games. They've been a great story, and they're a damn good basketball team. But if this goes lower than 6, I will be on Missouri here today.
I thought our conversation yesterday, you, me, and my dad at the desk, Kenny White, was really good about this matchup here. Because, I mean, I know my dad made Missouri higher. I actually made them 9. I do think that there is a mismatch with size, talent, everything here. And I think Missouri was really good throughout the entire season. I think they just fell short a little bit late in the season, and people are kind of holding that against them. So can the Tigers play their best here? Absolutely. So I would lean more to Missouri, but again, our conversation yesterday talking about Drake, talking about the coaching job that he has done here with this team. And of course, the slowest team in the country, they want to grind it out. They want to slow you down. They want to throw you off their game. And they could potentially do that. So I have nothing confident or definite in this one. I didn't bet anything. My numbers say Missouri, though. I made it 9.
Going to the late games here tonight, and we begin with a side that you and I both like a little bit more than I think we both expected going in. UCLA takes on Utah State. Alex, Bruins are 5.5 right now. There's still a 5 in the market in this one, but it's been pretty well one-way traffic on the Bruins here in this game.
I liked it at the opening number, 3.5, laying that with UCLA. At this point, I'd probably stay off of it, just where my number is. But I do think they're by far the better basketball team in this one. And it's not just a fate of the Mountain West. UCLA beat Gonzaga, Arizona, Wisconsin. They have some really good wins. And then you look at Utah State, they struggle defensively. Yes, this is an awesome offense, but I don't think they're really going to be able to slow down UCLA. I'm going with the better defense, slower pace, muck this one up. I like the Bruins a lot in this game.
Moving along here. By the way, if I was in a survivor pool, I would have taken UCLA today. If I was in a survivor pool, yeah, are they capable of beating Tennessee? Yeah, but I don't see them going further than a potential Sweet 16. I did advance them in my bracket to the Sweet 16 because Tennessee, I think, is the weakest of the twos, and I had 1-2 seeds not making it to next weekend, so that was the only reason I did it.
As did I, which is funny.
Hey, you and I have been very simpatico on a lot of this, which I don't know if that should scare us or it's a good sign on that. All right, let's go to Omaha and St. John's. We talked about this game a bunch this week. Jim Root said this was his first to 15 special, by the way, on Omaha.
He did?
Yeah.
Good.
He said
That's one of my 3.
He said it was the first to 15 special. Johnnies have gotten out of the gates a little bit slowly the last 2 games. With that said, Alex, I'm going to be looking to take St. John's if they get off to a slow start at a lower number. I think Omaha's going to really struggle to score long term in this game. They could hit some threes early. Yep. They could get out like 18-8, and everyone's like, "Whoa, what's going on in Providence right now?" But when it's all said and done, that St. John's defense is going to rule the day here. I'll see if I can get a better number in game, but I still think 18.5 ends up being okay here, Alex.
I do too. I think that's the best way to play it, honestly. I mean, they were down against Creighton and Marquette going into the second half. I know Creighton for sure, so people were a little concerned there, but we know that Patino will make some changes, whatever he's got to do. Second half, it'll be all St. John. So, yeah, I would look for a better number, and I am on Omaha. I got him at plus 330 to get first to 15. My Montana right now is it's still live. We've got Wisconsin up 9-7. So we'll see how that one goes. Those are my only 3 first to 15 for the day.
Pride is on the line for me in this next game because I've been on UC San Diego for 3.5 months now, and they take on Michigan. The Wolverines, the champions of the Big Ten, against the Big West champions. Chris said this earlier. He's ready to move up, and didn't because the market went the other way, except for here at the South Point. If you like the Tritons, this is the best numbers, period. Moneyline and 2.5 right now in this game. Alex, there are two ways to look at this game. Michigan is giant size. Question of athleticism for UC San Diego. Even I think they're going to be okay athleticism-wise. But then to turn the other way of it, UC San Diego is one of the best turnover defenses in the country, and Michigan is 325th in turnovers committed, which should be impossible for a Power 5 team, and a good Power 5 team at that. I think it's going to be very simple here. If UC San Diego is able to turn Michigan over, UC San Diego wins this game, and they might win the game by margin. If Michigan holds on to the ball, it's going to be pretty hard for UC San Diego to pull this thing off, because even though Golden and Wolf are more willing to play away from the basket than traditional bigs, it's going to be really hard to keep those guys off the glass if they're staying inside. Even Cheddar as well for Michigan. But I'm sticking to my guns. I've been on UC San Diego for 3.5 months. I'm not backing away now. I like the Tritons. I like them outright to pull the short upset as a 12/5 here.
I can't fault you at all. I mean, the breakdown is right there for you. Michigan turns the ball over way too much. I mean, they had turned the ball over 19 times in that game against Maryland, but still found a way to win. It was a very tight game, 81-80. But so with that uncertainty, and you can't predict turnovers, even though we have the stat there, you know that is an emphasis that they are going to be working on. So I'm staying away from this one. I did make Michigan slightly higher, closer to where it opened, like 4. So nothing for me in this one. But bracket-wise, I cannot blame you for picking this 12 seed over this 5.
One last one tonight. UNC Wilmington and Texas Tech. This is in Wichita. First to 15, I might actually play Wilmington. This is a lot. This team is good. Now, can they play a full 40 with Texas Tech? I'm not so sure about that. This Texas Tech team, again, and we mentioned this with Wisconsin earlier, and it's weird to say this about the team with the 281st fastest tempo in college basketball, but there are a lot of teams and a lot of coaches that we are used to just being absurd plotters. And what I mean by that is sub 320 tempos, playing games in the low 60 possessions, and liking it. Texas Tech is 65.5 possessions, which is not anywhere near what Grant McCasland has done in the past. Remember, Grant McCasland was at North Texas and just, like North Texas still does, just grinded it basically, to a stop. Legitimately, the game stopped. That's how slow they played. I just am concerned about Wilmington's ability to play a whole 40 here. I think Wilmington first half is reasonable. I think Wilmington first to 15 is reasonable. When it's all said and done, I just think the Red Raiders are too much. And even though I have Texas Tech going out in round 2, if you told me 3 weeks from now Texas Tech was playing in the Final Four, I wouldn't be shocked if that's the case. That West region, you could make an argument, and I know the brackets are all set, but I think there are 5 teams in that region that you could make a legitimate argument. If things go right, they could be playing in San Antonio in 3 weeks.
I agree.
So,
I do think that was one of the tougher regions, and I do have Texas Tech going pretty far. So I didn't do anything here. I would lean to the favorite, though, if anything. I maybe wait for a better number, especially if you're looking at Wilmington to get out ahead early and then come back in on Texas Tech. But nothing for me. Do we have that number for first to 15 with UNC Wilmington?
It says plus 250 on the screen right now. Odds all subject to change, especially on these, because Chris will move these, especially if the underdog is getting whacked, which does happen. By the way, Wisconsin was first to 15 in the Montana game. So Creighton's the only underdog to get the 15 first here today so far, which was not really much of a price.
Right. Yeah, that's a risk that you're taking, right? So far I'm 0-2 on my first to 15s.
Where am I at on this turn? I'm 1-1. I won with St. Francis. I did not win with San Diego State. That did not work a few nights ago. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Looks like the poll has spoken on tomorrow. We will be going. Can I say it, Ryan? Are we okay? We're going at 8:45 tomorrow morning, so I'll be here bright and early before the games get rolling. And quite frankly, chat, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Also in the chat as well, Nick rooting on High Point. We're with you, Nick. We hope they can get there. JR is betting that under 59.5 on SIUE. And Attila and the team total under 49.5. And then Attila.
Did he find a 49.5?
He did.
I want it too.
And then Attila
Sign me up.
and Roger Long on Georgia against Gonzaga. And before we hit the break, Chris, you have a cup of coffee in your hand.
Oh, I got a red alert.
Uh-oh.
The meatball sandwich is only today.
Ooh.
They have pulled pork a whole 4 days, but the meatball sandwich is only today.
That makes it
So,
decision
Put it on
easy.
the bottom, guys.
That makes your decision.
It's easy for
to
me.
make mine too. You know,
Yeah.
I just had a muffin for breakfast, so at lunch I'm going to go up. Got to be meatball sandwich today.
I mean, yeah. What's replacing?
Might have one for dinner as well. You know, I mean, why not?
Might go 3 meals today. You never know. Well, 4 meals. I
Wouldn't
should
be the
say.
first for either one of us. I would say.
Can't argue that, especially
We
on
need to
these
put
days.
some meat on her bones too. So anyway, I figured I'd give you that red alert before you go off the air.
I appreciate it.
Okay. As soon as I saw this, I got to get down to Jeff.
That changes my handicap today, Chris. That's now meatball sub for lunch. No argument now.
No, not even a question.
Not even close.
Okay, see you
Chris
later.
Andrews, everybody.
How was
Crowd's giant.
Yeah, unbelievable upstairs. And I mean the betting lines, you know, usually it's about even, like how much business we write between here and upstairs. Upstairs is going to be way more.
still some open seats though? If people haven't got here yet?
There's not too many, but there's some. I mean, you know, if you guys are going to have the wristbands like a special guest.
So we'll get lucky. But there will be a little bit, I will say, if you're somewhere right now watching, some people do leave in the middle of the afternoon. So.
Well, plus there's, we're showing it at Grandview, we're showing it at the Sportsbook, we're showing it at the Silverado Bar.
You can go to any of the bars and see.
I mean, there's you'll find a place. You know, just come on down, but it's jam-packed. Okay, see you later.
Thank you, Chris. We'll take a quick break. Whiteboard. When we get back, Sports by the Book here at the South Point studio.
If you're celebrating a special occasion or just love fine dining, you're in the right place. Come experience the crown jewel of South Point restaurants, Michael's Gourmet Room.
Welcome.
With over 600 different types of wines and magnificent dishes prepared tableside, you'll revel in the rich classic Vegas decor and the best black tie service in the world. This intimate gourmet room has earned accolades galore. Come to Michael's Gourmet Room for an unforgettable dining experience. Another famous restaurant is the Silverado Steakhouse, where you'll find the charm and service that discerning patrons require. From top quality steaks and chops to fresh seafood and desserts, you'll love the award-winning wine list and menu at Silverado Steakhouse. Steak lovers have even more options with primarily prime rib. Catering to hearty appetites, the menu features a variety of flavorful prime rib cuts, dry-aged to ensure tenderness, and then seasoned and slowly roasted. Although prime rib is our specialty, it's not the only thing on the menu. There's something for everyone. And if you're craving a taste of Italy, come experience delicious Italian cuisine and the attentive service at Don Vito's. Our culinary team starts with the freshest ingredients and transforms them into traditional favorites. And don't forget Italian desserts. Don Vito's. Savor the taste of Italy. Finally, if sushi is more your style, join us at the popular Zenshin Asian restaurant and sushi bar, where we're serving up the freshest sashimi, nigiri, and sushi rolls. And beyond the sushi, an exciting contemporary Asian cuisine menu. Plus a variety of specialty drinks, Japanese and domestic beer, wine, and sake. Balance your hunger with Zenshin. South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind. and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world. Our gaming amenities include over 60 table games and over 2,600 of the most popular slot and video poker machines. We have penny slots, including the popular Buffalo games, and real machines like Wheel of Fortune, Triple Sevens, and Megabucks. If you prefer video poker, try Deuces Wild, Double Bonus, or a variety of multi-denomination games. Or try your hand at one of the most popular casino table games in the world, Blackjack. Don't let the game intimidate you. Blackjack, also known as 21, is both easy and fun. And our dealers are always happy to assist. And the best part? Blackjack always pays 3 to 2. Next, check out the roulette tables. Roulette is one of the easiest casino games to learn, and so much fun to play. It's a favorite of both beginners and seasoned players. In addition to blackjack and roulette, our casino pit features over 60 popular table games like Baccarat, Pai Gow Poker, 3-Card Poker, Ultimate Texas Hold'em, and Mississippi Stud. So get out of your room and come join in the fun.
We're back in at Sports by the Book. Jeff Parles, Alex White, Jerry, Oregon, right? You have Oregon winning it all? Yeah, Jerry's got Oregon winning it all.
Shoot.
Jerry's now leaving the building now. No, we got again, tomorrow's show, voted by you, the fans, will go at 8:45. Do not expect to be able to pick the time of the show moving forward. Just tomorrow, one-off. Just a one-off on that, everybody. We'll have that tomorrow at 8:45. I'll be here. Dwayne Colucci will join us. I'm sure Chris or Vinny will join us tomorrow morning.
I may even pop in.
Alex may pop. Well, you'll probably be upstairs the majority tomorrow, right? Yeah. Ryan may hop on the desk. Who knows? We will not allow Sean on the desk. Sorry, Sean.
Well, I mean, if Creighton wins by double digits, we might have to let him on the desk.
He's not good enough yet.
Okay.
Not good enough yet. They got to beat Auburn, and then maybe he can be allowed on it. Maybe he can take up both of our jobs, actually. You never know. All right. Real quick, a stat that was said earlier, before we get to the trivia, there was a stat that was said earlier on Westwood 1. So this is verified. Round of 64 over the last 30 years. If a team had a 15-point lead or more at halftime, this is the last 30 years, teams are 210-1 when leading by 15 or more at halftime in a round of 64. So if you're up 15 plus at halftime, you're winning the game. Last time a team that led by 15 or more lost when leading by that at halftime was in 1990. South Alabama had a big lead at the half against a 15-plus lead against Alabama.
Wow.
Tide came back and won. That's the last time that happened.
So you're saying
if you're up 15 at halftime, if it's a 15-point margin at halftime today or tomorrow, do not money line the underdog, even if it's a ridiculous favorite.
Right.
Because it doesn't happen, even though those trends are meant to be broken, as we know. Westwood 1 and CBS both have that.
Maybe just take the points. If you feel confident, if it's a favorite that you think is going to come back, maybe just take the points. Have some cushion there.
Trivia time. Before the whiteboard here. Did JR get it? No. Wow. Largest margin of victory in an NCAA tournament game was 69 points. Not nice for that. Set back in 1963. Who are the teams? I would have had no chance of getting this, so great trivia question, everyone. The Ramblers of Loyola Chicago beat Tennessee Tech 111-42. Tennessee Tech took 82 shots in that game? Yikes. Yeah, Nick got it. Credit to Nick. Job well done. On that, we'll have more trivia as we go through this tournament, and Ryan with a good one there. And by the way, since the voters did it, we're at 8:45 tomorrow morning. So job well done. We appreciate you, the voters, for looking out for us, the host, as well. We also want to watch these games, too. It also helps us prepare these shows. By the way, real quick, before we get the whiteboard, Purdue's leads down to 4 at the 16-minute mark of the second half. Wisconsin's up 24-18 on the Grizz with 8.5 to go in the first half. And Creighton still in total control, up 14 at the under 8 time out of the second half, Alex.
Yeah, so points wouldn't have really helped you there. Very, very impressive win. Or,
Well, not there yet.
Sorry,
but
I shouldn't jinx it. But
even
very
though that would be
impressive first half in a game here for Creighton.
our trend says that Creighton is safe,
I
by
know,
the way.
so
But hey, again, trends
Still
are meant to
7
be
minutes.
broken. All right, whiteboard time. You can throw it on up there. Our good friend Ryan McCormick. Alex, you won't. You will hop in for a little bit potentially tomorrow, but I'll be solo on the desk for the show tomorrow. So some of your plays for tomorrow as well. Of course, we already know. You said it yesterday. High Point already in pocket. You got 8.5 earlier in the week, and you got a whole bunch of other action the next 2 days.
That's right. Montana, Wisconsin going on right now. I don't love that rate. I have over 152, 24-18, 8 left to go in the first half. But a couple other overs for today. I like Georgia and Gonzaga over 151. I like VCU and BYU over 146.5. I like Arkansas getting the points against Kansas and UCLA money line if you want to find a dance partner for them. Couple dogs for tomorrow. I will have some totals I'll put out on social media as well. But Baylor plus the 1.5 against Mississippi State. I just think they are the better team. I made them a 1.5 point favorite. New Mexico against Marquette. I have to take that edge here with Richard Pitino coaching New Mexico. They had a very good year in the Mountain West. I do think they're the best team in that conference. And then Liberty plus 7 against Oregon. Truth be told, that's pretty much where my number is, but this is a team that can shoot lights out. They're very good offense, 40% from 3 and 58% from 2. So I think this team can get hot, and I'm going to sprinkle a little on the money line as well.
The official looks today for me. I was on High Point, mentioned it earlier. Currently, we're within the number. Let's stay there. Let's stay there, High Point. Let's get there on this. The other official looks today, all are later. I don't have anything official in the afternoon, even though I will probably end up betting Georgia plus 7. That will probably end up in the account. We're on UC San Diego. We're on Yale. Those are the two big ones late. UCLA, I don't mind, but I think the number's kind of gotten away at this point.
Yep.
But if you want to money line UCLA with someone else, no problem. And if Mizzou gets sub 6, I will bet the Tigers against Drake.
I was thinking those two would be a good money line parlay. Mizzou and UCLA.
Maybe. Hopefully it is. Hopefully it is for the sake of both of us. We'll see how it plays out. All right. Shout out to chat, Jerry, Vince, Sean, Ryan. Shout out to the crew. And wherever you may be, Alex, shout out to you as well. You'll see if you're here on property, come upstairs, say hello to us. We'll be upstairs the majority of the day here. You'll even hear Alex White on the microphone from 5 to 6:30 later today, and maybe I'll even be on the microphone. That depends on how my day has gotten more so than anything. Maybe.
Yeah,
We'll
there's
see.
a game ending right around there that
A little
is
bit
kind
tight,
of
but we'll see how it
meaningful to
goes. But yeah, we'll be upstairs. If you're here on property, come say hello, make your bets upstairs behind us. We're looking forward to it. Hell of a day. Hell of a few days, Alex.
Try the meatball sandwich.
Yes, try the meatball sub. Yes, that's correct. Thank you, Alex. I think we hit the important things on the way out
That's
for
right.
sure. All right, we'll see you again tomorrow. 8:45 in the morning tomorrow now. Thank you, chat. We appreciate it. We'll see you then. Sports by the Book.